Omer Benjakob is an investigative journalist for Haaretz in Israel. He covers disinformation, cyber and surveillance for the newspaper, and has participated in a number of international investigations, and you might want to ask him about some of those at his table as well. They're fascinating. He's also a researcher, and his writing on Wikipedia has been published in Wired UK, Columbia Journalism Review, and MIT Press, as well as academic journals. Come on up.
So hi, it's true, I am Omer Benjakob, despite attempts to delete me from, no, I'm joking. So I'm an investigative reporter for Haaretz. I focus on disinformation, which is kind of the formal way of saying fake news. But before we get all kind of dark and ominous as the title of my project implies, I actually want to start with a love story. So this is a story that took place almost 20 years ago. The really early days of Wikipedia. Two friends of mine who were in a relationship had this kind of nickname for each other, Pantoufel. And as a kind of gesture of love, albeit a very nerdy one, they went into the Wikipedia article for love in Hebrew, ahava, and they added a new category of love, pantophilian love. Pantophilian love is described as a love characterized by a strong physical and emotional bond. And to my friend's delight, the edit actually stuck. So you could see it there. And it stuck around there for a while. Until a smart, diligent Wikipedia editor found it and deleted it. Now, I researched Wikipedia, and I can tell you that this doesn't really happen. Wikipedia is really good at kind of weeding this stuff out. So today, that would be impossible. But to this day, if you Google pantophilian love, you'll find tons and tons of references to this completely bogus, completely made-up category of love. Why am I telling you this? And what does it have to do with fake death camps? Well, the story of pantophilian love is just a sweet kind of anecdote, right? But what happens if you do the exact same thing, not for love, but for a much darker, sinister, conspiratorial, if not, say, anti-Semitic ends? So we've all heard of fake news, but you may not have heard of fake history. A recent study confirmed something terrifying but true, which is that the entire history of the Holocaust is being systematically rewritten on Wikipedia, a website that is actually very good at fighting disinformation. As noted, I actually researched this. And for the past few years, I've been consumed with this story. This is one of the craziest disinformation stories I have ever come across. To put that in a bit of context, I've literally just finished being undercover for 8 months, pretending to be a lobbyist working for the government of Chad. And this is objectively crazier. How to Fake a Death Camp is a 5-part podcast miniseries about another, much more important investigation I did into KL Warsaw and the massive hoax surrounding this concentration camp. This is a story of how a group of Wikipedia editors have partnered with Polish nationalists backed by their government in an elaborate plot to rewrite the entire history of the Holocaust and subvert the global perception of the Shoah. This project is a result of years of undercover reporting I did, poring over thousands of versions of Wikipedia entries, historical documents, archives, survivor testimonies, protocols, and generally spending way too much time with people who fight over World War II articles and Pokemon articles alike. So where do you come in? And how can you help? So I've partnered with Paul Du Studios, including veteran podcaster Yochai Meital, co-founder of The Israel Story and producer of many other successful shows to help me. We've raised funds from Israel State Lottery, Mifal HaPais, but also are collaborating with Kan, Israel State broadcaster, the equivalent of NPR or BBC, if you will, to do this as a Hebrew language podcast. But the truth is, Israelis are not the ones who need to hear this. I'm trying to secure funding and distribution for this really important investigation because we want to do it in English and perhaps also do it as a documentary to kind of show how the history of the Jewish people and the history of the Holocaust is being undermined as we speak, and at a time where I think we need it the most. Going back to my cute little love story, as I mentioned, to this day you can find traces of pantophilian love, and if that silly little gesture of love has such a long-lasting effect, just imagine what a long-lasting, terrible consequence a state-backed, well-orchestrated, well-funded attempt to undermine the history of the Holocaust would have. This is my call to arms to you. I'm here to tell you, never before has the history of the Jewish people been so threatened, and I invite you to go down the K.L. Warsaw rabbit hole with me. I invite you to stand by me in the battle, in the front lines in the battle over truth, and I invite you to help me share this story with the world. Thank you very, very much.